Okay, now that I've got all the lugs attached, I'm going to have a little bit more flexibility with it. I can turn it around and do all of these at about hand tight. There are all types of things on the web about how to tighten your head. There's different tensions of head tightening that different people prefer, so it all just depends on what you're going after. This being a professional model banjo, you can take it up to the highest tensions. Okay, so now I'm going to go around and just give these guys a little bit of a turn. And I'm just remembering where I've been, so now I'm on 5, 6, You can do yourself a favor by holding the hook next to the banjo as you're turning it, because it'll make sure that you're not turning it and it's somehow fallen out of this the hoops notch here. So I hold it kind of as I'm turning this. I am actually going to go down to a 1/4 for this final tightening on this John Hartford model banjo. Beautiful doing banjo. This is when you really have to kind of feel how much pressure you're putting on this. It's better to just go around the banjo and tune the lugs really slowly. I have tuned banjo heads up too high and it just stifles the low end. So you have to find, for that particular banjo, what the sweet spot is for tone and volume. And being that this pickup maintains the acoustics of a banjo, you can monitor that still. Alright, so I've gone around the banjo one time. Now I'm going to turn it back around, and this was an old trick that a drummer friend showed me. Now you're going to want to take your palm and just push right down in the center of the banjo head, and just about 10 or 15 pounds of pressure. If you hear a cracking, it's just the glue that's around the rim from the banjo head, from the manufacturer. Nothing to be alarmed about. But you're just trying to seat that head a little bit. If I had a 1/4 inch key right now, I would probably go to the key because I can feel the tension a lot easier with the key. Okay, I'm always monitoring this thing, so at this point I'm kind of going around the head to see where I'm at, and then I can also get an idea of where I'm at on my tension. So, which it all sounds pretty consistent. So I want the sound to obviously be consistent throughout the head. If you tighten one of these lugs up, you have to note that on each side of that lug, you're going to now weaken these. So if I tighten this one, I'm probably going to have to come back and give this one and this one a little bit of a nudge, and possibly the outside. But with the point that we're at now, we're just trying to bring up the overall tension of the head. And you can even start to go to like 2 and 3 lugs at a time at this point, and then jump around like you would with a car tire concept. about halfway there at this point. I'm noticing right now that the spot where the strings go through on this beveled area right here, coming off the tailpiece into the bridge and then through here up to the nut, is looking great. My banjo head hasn't wandered on me. I have this in line. It's starting to sink down at the level of the neck, which it has to go below the level of the neck or it becomes the highest fret you've ever played. So has to go down below there. So I couldn't stop at this point because this is still just a teeny bit too high. So this is a little bit too flabby still. So
I haven't been out there a minute,
okay, so at this point I'm probably at about 2/3 of the tension, maybe 3/4, and this section right here is now flush with the neck, which is what we need. And at this point the lugs are starting to feel pretty sluggish, and I can tell that I'm putting tension on, but it takes such little turns at this point because like I was saying, if you turn this one, these two end up getting affected. And I know that a lot of my drummer friends have elaborate ways of doing this for their drums, but this is kind of your basic tension increase. Okay. Yeah. Now I don't bring the tension up all the way until I get the strings and the bridge in place. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty good about my tension because remember, the bridge itself is going to push down and create a certain amount of extra tension with the strings. So whatever that pound pressure is also going to alter this a little bit. What I notice is this first tension bar terminates into the wood. Alright, so it does not touch the rest of the metal. So this would not be my best option for the grounding wire. The best option for me is going to be one of the lugs. Now that I have them all up to a respectable tension, I can back this guy off a little, curl my wire around, place it underneath this post, place that down, give it just a little teeny turn. Now I'm grounded.